right, it says we live. Let's check the feed. Shalom out there.
Shalom.
Wow.
Shalom, shalom. Bear with me. All right. Make sure my mic is on point. All right, cool. All right, let's check the feed.
Yep, we good. Just popped up.
All right, we live. Hey, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. GMS Charlotte back at you with another live lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rakak Kodash. All right, and before we get started, we want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who taught us his truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, we're back out here to bring it out. Today's lesson here is farewell to welfare. The eagle shall no longer nourish her. All right, so we're going to talk about pretty much the fall of the, as you see on the screen, the from African queen to welfare queen. All right, the hood rat, man. All right, it's going to get. We're in the time of Keisha's trouble. All right, so we Salakia. But we want to get into this thing, Lord willing. This lesson is edifying. Now, before we get into this topic at hand, I do want to address this video I've seen a little bit earlier before we got started. Right, so bear with me as we let people line up on the feed here. So let me pull it up. All right. Because it's getting bad for Jake as a whole, as we know, right? So let's play this. I want to just, bring out a scripture I was thinking about and edify on this point before we get into the main topic here. So this was on Twitter or X. It says, WTF, what the fuck? Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is claiming that Trump is zip tying black babies and throwing them in the back of vans at night. Literally what? So let's listen to this. All right. Nero not playing. All right.
No one is going to convince me what the Trump administration is doing against black people and brown people can ever be justified. It is racist. When you have black babies being thrown in the back of vans, zip tied in the middle of the night, and masked men sticking guns in the faces of black and brown people, that is nasty, is vicious, is racist. Dr. King described it as an evil. Militarism and that formation is an evil. No one is going to convince me what the Trump administration is doing against black people and brown people can ever be justified. It is racist. When you have black babies being thrown in the back of vans, zip tied in the middle of the night, and masked men sticking guns in the faces of black and brown people, that is nasty, is vicious, is racist. Dr. King described it as an evil. Militarism and that formation is an evil. No one is going to convince.
Yeah, so this is heavy, man, and that made me think about Isaiah the 10th chapter. I believe it's the 5th verse. The Lord said he was going to give that Assyrian the charge. And we always bring that up, all right, that he was going to use that Assyrian to tread Jake like the mire in the streets. Now, I want to grab the scripture here, all right, because you heard what's going on. This is happening, man. All right, these ICE agents, these these militia groups that they pretty much implemented into these major cities are having their way with Jake. And, a lot of this shit is gonna go underreported as well. All right. So this is a heavy time, man. Jacob's trouble. Anyway, this is Lamentations 4 and verse 17. It says, as for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Right. It says they hunt our steps, that we cannot go on our street. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, our end is come. Now I want to read this in the not the NLT, but the chat GPT, right? Because I thought this was pretty heavy just to add on to what we just saw in that short clip, right? Let me pull it up. So just going into this breakdown here, all right, Lamentations 4 and 17. It says it reflects the deep despair and hopelessness felt by the people of Judah in the aftermath of the fall of Jerusalem to the Babylonians in 586 BC, right? These verses express the extreme vulnerability of the people as they experience the consequences of their sin in God's judgment. Let's break down these verses for a clear understanding, all right? So verse 17, as for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. All right. It says, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. This phrase speaks of a sense of disappointment and unfulfilled hope. It says the people had been looking for help and salvation, but their hopes have not been realized. And that's pretty heavy when you think about the parallels of what happened then and what's going on now. All right. Our people were heavy from the time before Trump got in office. All right. People were hell bent on, voting for, Biden, voted for Trump. People thought that that election at the time was going to bring them some type of hope and prosperity, that things were going to get better for the so-called black and brown person. That wasn't the case. All right. The whole Kamala, Trump, all of that bullshit, right? Niggas got caught up into the rapture. That was a big thing on social media. People thought they were going to get delivered out of America and various parts of the world through the rapture. That was all bullshit. People are marching down, to Egypt for help. You see, it's the same thing, that false hope. It says they were expecting rescue or assistance, but it never came, right? And look how that's playing out now, right? It says the word vain, quote unquote, emphasizes that the help they sought was useless or ineffective. It could refer to reliance on alliances with other nations, such as Egypt, which were ultimately unhelpful. See that? Woe unto you that trust in Egypt, right? It says in our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. The people have been waiting, watching, and hoping for help from a foreign nation, likely Egypt or other nearby powers, but this hope was futile.
Yep.
The nation they trusted to save them turned out to be unable to protect them from the impending destruction. And it's the same thing with Babylon, with America. Okay, the same nation that niggas put their trust in to save them, to make their plight better, is not going to be able to help them. Okay, it's not going to save them from the impending destruction as we see it play out now, right? It says, the chime in, brothers. You got something out? Go ahead. I'll pull it up.
It's Isaiah 30 and verse 3 in the NLT.
Started one up.
Got. Isaiah 30 and 1. It says, What sorrow awaits my rebellious children, says the Lord. You make plans that are contrary to mine. You make alliances not directed by my spirit, thus piling up your sins. For without consulting me, you have gone down to Egypt for help. You have put your trust in Pharaoh's protection. You have tried to hide in his shade. But by trusting Pharaoh, you will be humiliated, and by depending on him, you will be disgraced. That's what we're seeing take place right now. We see the humiliation, man. Right? We see the disgrace. Now, that shame hasn't hit them, yet they're still in that prideful mindset, just like we've seen that, Eve with the bag of stolen stuff, right? They still feel like they can come and brag and boast about these things. But it's going to be a state of humiliation, as we go into the so-called holiday season, right? When these people can't afford their foods, man. This government shutdown ain't going to stop anytime soon, man. Right? So we're going to see the desperation continue to grow and grow, because they put their entire trust in Esau's system, man.
Because if I could add to that, because the amount of video that's been coming out of the nigga woman pretty much threatening how they gonna rob Walmart and all this shit, the damage they're gonna do to these stores because of the SNAP benefits being cut, shows you that they have misplaced their trust, because instead of relying on Yahweh Shem Shai and looking to the Lord to provide for them, they're trying to take matters into their own hands, man, because they see, as we just read in that Lamentations and in this Isaiah, that Esau Edom ain't gonna help them. Our people are starting to realize that. So now they have no spiritual backing. They see that their oppressor is no longer helping them. So now Jake is resorting to looking out for themselves, which is why we're seeing the crash out videos coming out. I got a precept. This is Psalms 146 and verse 3. It says, Put not your trust in princes, nor in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help. Because Esau Edom's intention was never to help you. All right. These devils' sole purpose of putting us in this captivity especially what we're seeing now, is to strip you of everything to make it to where you have no choice but to look at him as God. All right, like
Sure.
Curtis said, that we will go to him for the one of all things. Well, he has weaponized that to the point to where we literally have to come to him for everything now, for our nourishment, for our life. He holds all that in his hand right now. All right, for those that don't have Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah as their foundation, man.
That's right. That's right. I'm gonna go back and read, finish it out. All right, so back into it. Again, in our watching, we have watched for a nation that cannot save us. The people have been waiting, watching, and hoping for help from a foreign nation, likely Egypt or other nearby powers, but this hope was futile. The nation they trusted to save them, turned out to be unable to protect them from the impending doom. The impending destruction. Meaning, the people of Judah had placed their trust in the wrong places.
Yep.
They were hoping for salvation from a foreign power, but the hope was in vain. Their eyes, metaphorically representing their expectations, failed because those they looked to for help were powerless.
Mm-hmm. Because
Verse
these devils never had the intention to help our people. All right.
Yep.
I can jump down to Isaiah 30:7.
Yep.
It says, "For the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still."
Yep.
So this is what we're seeing, because the thing about this whole situation with the snap is not like they don't have the money to give the people. Is they're choosing not to give it to you people because they and how they're trying to paint it is that it's mainly Jake that's the recipients of this welfare. But when you really go into it, it's really Edomites that are the main recipients of that, and they even get more. So here it is. You see videos of Eve on the YouTube or social media talking about how she get $4,000 a month for SNAP. Well, you got Edomites getting double that.
Yep.
Getting all type of government assistance, but you don't hear nobody speaking about that. It's all you hear the left, the Dems, which is all code words, talk about Jake,
Yeah.
But Esau, sorry, go ahead.
No, go make your point, Shalaki, bro.
I was gonna say, that just shows you that Esau's hatred for you is beginning to show more and more because they're trying to bottleneck you, man.
Yeah, and like the elder Kazaki Allah said out in GMS, Mississippi, he said this is all a social experiment, man.
Yeah.
However this thing may go, whether they cut it off, they don't cut it off. What Esau is doing, he's fucking with Jake, like they always do. They're gonna see it's all an experiment. They're gonna see who's gonna, who's gonna crash out, who's gonna do what. As we're gonna play a video a little bit later, you got this woman bragging about what she stole from the store, just self-incriminating herself right on camera. Yep. But the scriptures talk about how Jake is the Sadish people, right? But anyway, let me finish this out when we get back on to the point. Verse 18, Lamentations 4:18. It says, "They hunt our steps that we cannot go on our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. Our end is come." It says, they quote, "They hunt our steps." This imagery is being hunted. This imagery of being hunted conveys the extreme danger the people are facing. The Babylonians or invaders are chasing them, tracking their every move. They are unable to move freely or safely. All right, this is what we just basically heard in this video from the Chicago mayor Brandon Johnson. All right, he's saying that the ICE is zip tying black babies, putting guns at their heads, stripping them naked. Right, this shit is happening right now. Right, it says. Last point here, last 2 points. It says, "We cannot go on our streets." This indicates that the city is no longer safe for the people.
Yep.
The streets, which once represented normal daily life, are now dangerous and hostile, right? And Trump even said it as of recently, he's going to deploy more troops to more cities.
Yeah.
It says the streets,
because
which
I can answer that, because you not only are you seeing the troops to where you're seeing people scared to go out their house because they're afraid of getting deported, but just that crash out mentality is making to where people are literally scared of other people. So and you be at a store one day, and because somebody's car's not working or they don't have no money, they could just crash out and just start killing people, man. Run their car into the damn building or whatever, it's all type of situation can happen because people are unhinged at this point, man.
Yeah,
Like,
loose cannons.
The love of many, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. It's a psychotic spirit that is growing here in Babylon the Great, man.
Yeah. Yep, loose cannons. All right. Finishing it out, it says, our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. This is a final acknowledgement of the inevitability of their destruction. The people understand that this end is at hand, that the end is at hand, that their days of judgment have been fulfilled. This marks the completion of God's judgment upon them due to their disobedience and sin. All right, so all these things that our people are going through now, it all ties back to, again, their disobedience, their lack of respect for the Lord, for the scriptures, their them not wanting to listen, not wanting to repent. So this is why these things are happening. Meaning, this verse describes this verse describes the dire and inescapable situation of the people. They are being pursued and trapped. It says unable to find safety even in their own homes, right? And this was happening back then. Look what's going on now. The sense of impending doom is palpable. How you say that word? Palpable. And they recognize that their destruction is unavoidable.
Yep.
Right? Last point, overall theme. It says both verses reflect the themes of hopelessness, helplessness, and the consequences of misplaced trust. The people of Judah had relied on external powers for salvation, but they failed to recognize that their ultimate deliverance could only come from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Now their trust in foreign nations have been shattered, and they face the bitter reality of God's judgment in the form of Babylonian conquest. You see, again, check out those spiritual parallels there. Babylonians back then, who are the modern Babylonians now?
Yep.
That's doing this to Jake again. The imagery of being hunted and trapped in the streets highlights the collapse of their society and the finality of their situation. Man, so I thought that was super heavy, right? Just tying it back in on what we heard in this clip of what's going on in the streets, not only in Chicago, but probably in these other major cities where they have these ICE agents and these Edomite militia groups, man, having their way with Jake, Right. So that's the point there. So let's get on back to the main point that we were talking about here. You have something? Go ahead.
Yep. The second Ezra, chapter 8, verse 50.
Mm-hmm.
It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter times shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Because off of what the video you just played and what we're about to go into is showing you that evils are about to increase in the earth. Because one thing that could be an outcome from these SNAP benefits being cut and people starting to bug out and wild out, you can see possibly these troops being stationed at these different stores to prevent these people from going in there and wrecking shit, man. That's going to cause more Jake to get profiled, beat down, possibly killed, So it's many evils that's about to await our people because of that pride. Because like I said, the response that we're seeing from Jake is nothing but pride. Them talking shit about how they're going to take matters into their own hands because Nero then messed up what they've been doing as far as getting over on the government. Yeah,
I saw earlier that a lot of Jakes that were they were using the SNAP benefits to fund like bakeries and like them cooking plates for people in the community. You know what I'm saying? They was making profit off that because the money the money that was used to buy the food was off the SNAP, and then it was Jake was freaking it, cooking plates for niggas and shit, chicken and cornbread greens and shit, and they was getting off. So niggas got caught up in that. I saw this earlier.
Yeah, he won his cut.
He won his cut. Let's play this real quick.
The announcement that SNAP benefits would be cut is unconscionable, in my opinion, and I just want to be 100% clear. We are not cutting SNAP because we are shut down. We are cutting SNAP because the administration had decided not to spend the reserves at the USDA in November and to deny people their benefits. So we have the money. We don't have to do any fancy, complicated thing that we can't do during a shutdown. There's $5 billion there in reserves. In case you haven't heard, we had $20 billion to give to Argentina. And we're building a new ballroom on the White House. So we seem to have plenty of money these days. We just have decided not to do that. And that's one of the cruelest things I've ever witnessed happening, because as you heard, there are people who are already getting close to the end of the month and saying, but I only got $30 left, but what am I going to do? And to put the fear in people while there's a political debate going on in Washington. Again, that's not a topic for today, but I just want to be clear. It is going on right now, and we've got the money to do it. We can absolutely fund SNAP benefits.
So what's that telling you? We got the money. We just don't got the money for you niggas.
Exactly. Man, what a wake-up call, bro. You know, they're telling Jake in their face that, look, fuck y'all, man. You know, they got the. She said, look, they got the money, but they're just not gonna give it to you, right? Now I want to get into this real quick, and we'll grab scriptures as we go. Just adding on to priests, but this is from the Epoch Times. Food stamps to be paused for 42 million Americans. What to know? It says Congress has not approved money to keep benefits flowing to recipients. Right, man, dire times. Let's make this a little bigger. And we'll grab some scriptures here. All right. It says food stamps are set to be paused on November 1st because of the government shutdown. Some 42 million Americans will not receive benefits through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, until Congress approves the new funding, according to federal officials, although some states have taken steps to intervene. All right. And we're not going to read all this. Just hit these quick points. All right. So it says, jumping down here, it says there's not enough money to pay full SNAP benefits to approximately 42 million SNAP recipients in November, the USDA says, but we just heard otherwise, right? That they actually have the money, they're just not going to pay it, right? It says, bottom line, the well has run dry. The USDA said on October 25th, quote, at this time, there would be no benefits issued November 1st. SNAP costs the government about $100 billion a year. Participants receive an average of $187.20 a month. It says Trump administration contingency funds cannot be used. Democrats and some organizations have urged the USDA to utilize its contingency funds to ensure that at least some recipients don't have benefits paused, right? And the rest reads on. So let's grab something. Like, you got something you want to hold real quick?
I got one.
Go ahead.
It's 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 21. It reads, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Right? So what people aren't, equating into the famine is the lack of ability to get the food, man, to pay for the food, right? They've been given free food or free access for years. So they've grown accustomed to that, man. So they grew used to things just being cheap, right? Yep. But now we're watching, that state of despair take place because that cruel Lord, right, is refusing their access, man.
Exactly, man. And as we're going to get into, the eagle shall no longer nourish her. Yep. All right, the eagle going back to America. Okay. Now this system is cutting Jake off. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's grab this too.
I got one behind you.
No, go ahead. I'll bring what you got.
Okay. This is Sirach chapter 39 and verse 25. It says, for the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinner they are turned into evil. And that's what Esau has essentially done with, all the food. All right, he's made, everything. Not only he made it GMO, but then he's cutting the GMO off. So the people are already addicted to the bullshit. So on top of that, he's making it to where, like I said, you have all this stuff that we're supposed to. The Lord gave us everything to be, for our nourishment, and Esau turned into a weapon. Yep. And so that's one of the main ways that he's able to control the people is through the food. So as this continues on for however long it's going to go, that's going to make the people bend, because, like I said, this could go in many of ways, like we talked about the other night. Because you can see him bring it back. All right, November 1st, it might come back November 1st, or it might go a little bit and then they bring it back, or it could just cut off until they say, look, if you want this, all right, get this chip, and you can have your food stamps plus some,
Right.
So it's many ways he could play this. So we're just sitting back, watching what he's gonna do. But the main point is he's turning this into a weapon, all right, because people are gonna wild out at first. And then once they see that that's not helping, then it's gonna go to, all right, what do I need to do to get these back? Like we saw during the lockdown with the JAB.
Yeah, exactly. He can manipulate this situation in various ways. That's why, like you said, that's a good point. We're just gonna watch and see what he does. Right.
Yep.
Let's play this too. You got anything else?
That was it. Go ahead.
I'm gonna play this first, and then we'll get into the 25 states that's trying to sue the Trump administration over SNAP food stamp funding freeze. All right. Let's play this one with this goofy ass nigga woman talking about bragging about what she stole at the store. Let me pull that too. Because you're gonna see a lot of this on the internet.
Oh yeah.
As well. All right. This is from WorldNet Daily. It says, get out there and ravish. Woman out of food stamps shows off stolen goods, urges others to steal at will and infiltrate churches for cash. She said one thing I learned from the white man is take it. Let's play the video. All right. Here we go.
Hi, you guys. I'm out of the store. So they wanted $7 for this. Mind you, I don't have food stamps anymore. They cut me off. So I only had $22 left in food stamps. So this is what I stole. Okay. They wanted $9 for this. I said, oh, I don't got $9. Then they wanted $2 for this. They wanted, sorry, it's all fucked up.
Bear with me. Hold on.
Dumbass stole Tic Tacs.
Slowing down a little bit. I play it back.
Was been in my purse. $7 for this. I'm making some stuffed salmon.
Hold on 1 second.
Today.
Hold on.
These are needed. I'm not paying
Give me 1 second.
$9. Then they wanted $2 for this. They wanted, sorry, it's all fucked up because it's been in my purse. $7 for this. I'm making some stuffed salmon today. These are needed. I'm not paying $7 for that. Okay. Let me show you the most important thing to me. Short ribs. Take off the label so that you don't beep. Get your fucking meat. How many do you think that I got? How many short ribs is that? And can I be real? More y'all bitch ass niggas should have started taking shit from the motherfucking corporations a long time ago. Y'all just didn't have that shit in your motherfucking bones. Get out there and get in the motherfucking field like I told you. Everything out here is yours. Whether or not you take it, they call that shit free will. I call that shit eminent domain. You know what I'm saying? One thing I learned from the white men, take it! Hey, now! Take it! I don't give a fuck who's already sitting there. I don't give a fuck if your land was already established. Bitch, it's mine now, and I want it. That is what we should be preaching in the land to the fucking masses. Act more like a white man. Take it for yourself, bitch, and you won't be worried about who don't got it. You see what I'm saying? Get out there and ravish. Last but not least, go in that church and infiltrate. Don't be stupid.
There you go.
Tripping.
Let's see if there's any more.
If I can read that,
you see how stupid our people are, man.
Get in there. Ask them for some.
Yeah, you got it, bro. I'm just making.
This
A
from
little bit more. Hold on. We'll finish it out.
Mm-hmm.
You got it. Go ahead. You can bring it up.
Okay, This is Exodus 23:2 from the Elder Hawat, Shalom. It says, "Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to rest judgment." Because like the elder just posted the law, man. We're not supposed to be stealing. You know, the Lord, that's showing a lack of faith, because the Lord's gonna take care of his elect, man. You know, Isaiah 65, he said his servants gonna eat, they're gonna drink, you know, there's gonna be a merry heart in that day. So we're supposed to be held to a higher standard. You know, these fucking hood rat nigga bitches, they're the reason why you see Trump and them, you know, trying to, you know, classify all Israel in that ratchet ass, you know, state. But at the nation of Israel, the elect of the nation of Israel, and we're on a different playing field than the rest of our people, because we have a standard that the Lord expects us to abide under, man. So we're not going to be doing shit like this, man.
Exactly.
We're gonna have lesson.
I did a lesson going into you know, Jake's the lack of integrity, man. You know, faith basically is going to get a lot of our people destroyed, and that's why I wanted to bring this out before we finish the quick video. Right, this is Jeremiah 4:22. Right, because what was she encouraging? All right, she was encouraging bullshit, dumb shit, man. And see, videos like this is gonna get Jake lined up. All right, this is Jeremiah 4 and verse 22, and it reads, it says, "For my people is foolish," right? Like you just heard the dumb bitch in the video. "For my people is foolish; they have not known me. They are sottish children. They have none understanding." All right, you was hearing how she was talking, no type of understanding whatsoever. "They are wise to do evil," as you heard her, right?
Yep.
"But to do good, they have no knowledge." And that's and unfortunately, that's the state of the majority of our people, man. They're wise to do evil, but when it comes to doing good things that are righteous, they have no knowledge. That's why Jake about to get mowed down out here, man. Right? Let me finish it out. A couple more seconds. Right? Let me go back.
Last but not least, go in that church you infiltrate. Don't be stupid. Get in there. Ask them for some rent money. Ask them for some help. You've been tithing. Say your lights is off. You need a stipend. You need some food. Go to the church. Ask for help. If the pastor don't help you out, blast them on social media. Quickest way to fuck up the church's money is ask for some. Go do it. See what you get. Report back to a real bitch. Let me know. If the church doesn't help you after all those tithes you gave, well, go ask for your tithes back. See if they can give you a donation form and they can just redonate your money back to you. See if they can do that. If they can't, I want you to come back under this post and give me the reason why they said they cannot reimburse you back the money you and your family have given to them for years. Also, why they can't help you. Let me know.
Cooked. All right. But a lot of our people are in the same type of mentality, and they're being led to the slaughter. It tells you that in 2 Kings 15, my people have been led as a flock to the slaughter. So this is the perfect scenario for Esau to pretty much, you know, have leverage, you know. I got another one. Les Bro's got a quick precept or two.
You got it.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Pull this up. 25 states sue Trump administration over SNAP food stamp funding freeze.
Let's get back to the battle over the suspension of federal food stamp benefits. Half of U.S. states are suing the Trump administration to stop federal food aid from being cut. All but 2 of those states, Nevada and Vermont, have a Democratic governor. Let's bring in CBS News correspondent Nicole Valdez live for us from Nashville, Tennessee. Nicole, Tennessee isn't one of the states that's suing to get SNAP funding. So how are leaders there responding to the possible lapse on November 1st?
Well, certainly they're still sharing their disappointment in the ending of those benefits starting at the beginning of November. Governor Bill Lee is actually in Asia right now working on several meetings with business leaders there who are hoping to bring in really companies to the state. But he issued a statement before his departure saying really trying to prepare Tennesseans for the loss of those benefits. Now, there are many on the Democratic side of at least the House here in Tennessee who are urging him to call a special session to vote on whether or not to use emergency funds to cover that lapse of benefits until the government shutdown is over. The governor made very clear that that is not something that the state is prepared to do. In a statement he released, he said in part that the SNAP program is a federally funded and operated program, and Tennessee is, quote, unable to utilize state dollars to provide the benefit and does not have the mechanism to load benefit onto customer cards. Those are those EBT cards that those SNAP recipients use. Of course, that does not necessarily make everyone here happy. The Democratic caucus chair of the Tennessee House of Representatives, that's John Ray Clemens, wrote to the governor and said this is imperative that we come together, take immediate action, and appropriate sufficient funding, adding, choosing to stand idly by while children go hungry is unacceptable, Liz.
So many people in that state rely on those SNAP benefits. I'm curious, what are communities doing to help?
Yeah, nearly 700,000 people in this state alone use those benefits. And of course, local food banks, nonprofits, they recognize that that is a lot of people, a lot of families that may not know where their next meal is going to come from. So what we've seen is really a lot of those same organizations planning several food assistance events, whether that's a community drop-off, encouraging those who maybe do have enough to give to donate to those food banks. And then in the aftermath, those really pickup events. So those SNAP recipients who may start to lose their benefits at the start of the next month can go by there and pick up an extra box or two of food to hopefully hold them over, again, maybe until the shutdown is over. I will note, though, that those SNAP recipients that do have money left over from this month can still use that money in the month of November. But as you can imagine, probably a lot of families may not have that option or would have very little time with anything left over, Liz.
Yes. All right, Nicole Valdez.
All right, no mercy. No mercy. This is what we trying to tell y'all, man. All that comfort is being stripped away. It's Shalom. We got our time.
Shalom.
Hey, I got a scripture for you, Op. Go ahead, get you some real quick. This is Sirach 5:7. I'll read it. Let's pull it up. All right, and we told our people over and over again what was about to happen, man, and they didn't listen. All right, Sirach 5:7, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
Right. Now is not the time for people to be making a delay to the one glimmer of security that exists in a world that's about to take the people to the place of destruction. All right. Man. We know that Esau, Edom, sitting in the seat, he is the son of perdition that's being revealed in these times. Okay. The security that he's laid out is nothing more than an illusion, and he's showing forth that. So in these times where Yahweh Shem Shai still is allowing for this word to go out, where he's allowing for the truth to be declared openly, right, and make it abundantly clear that we're in the last days before the return of our Lord and Savior Yahushua HaMashiach, we should not tarry. We should not we should not take advantage of this time and misuse it, right? But rather make proper use of this opportunity of grace, because in the security, as the elder has highlighted, we're seeing the vintage fail, right? Yep. We're seeing the nourishment. People are lamenting for the teats, right?
That's right.
So at this time, the security is done. All right.
Yep.
So if you want to stay under this covering of Esau, Edom, it's going to be pointless. But being under the covering of Yahweh Shem Shai, there's provisions that's set for those that are of the elect. Lord willing, we're part of that.
Right. If I can add to that, because Jake thought that this little, benefit that we was getting from Esau was going to last forever. Nah, man. Right. This was a season that has came to an end. And as we witness Babylon the Great, begin this, rapid decline, the Lord has to strip these benefits from our people so that it should be innate in you to turn back to Him. But see, that's going, that's a foreign, action to 2/3 because they've never established a relationship with the Lord. Therefore, right. Like I was telling bro last night, that reaction that y'all had got when y'all were dealing with that woman at the Wednesday camp, whenever they had the jab thing, and she was asking y'all what she was supposed to do, and y'all was like, have faith, and she got offended. That's the same thing that we're seeing with these videos. They don't have to come out and say, they're offended, that they don't have the Lord, but just their actions show you, because the knee-jerk reaction they have of I'm gonna go steal instead of let me sit back and pray. Like I was telling brother last night, prayer is not even a afterthought in these people's minds anymore, man. So that just shows you where our people are at. This is why the security they trusted in was Egypt, and like we read in Isaiah 30 chapter earlier, all right, the shame and confusion that Pharaoh is going to eventually show our people that mistrust that they they did. It's gonna be a harsh reality that's gonna set in for our people, man. As we get into the other part of this lesson, you women especially, man, you're gonna see why it was so imperative to why we kept telling y'all to repent and come back to the Lord, man. And it started with you getting order under your man.
Yep. Hey, we're gonna trust in the scriptures. We're gonna trust in the words of Yahweh Shemir Washai. Psalms 37 and 19. Psalms 37 and 19, it says, they should not be ashamed. Who's the they? The elect, the hopeful elect. Okay, the saints. It says they should not be ashamed in the evil time. Is not the evil time upon us? They should not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine, they should be satisfied. All right, that adds to Isaiah 65, where the Lord said that His servants was going to eat. All right, but you should be hungry. His servants was going to have drink, but you should be thirsty. All right, so the Lord is going to provide and take care of His in this time of trouble, man. When Jake think that, when the most of our people think that there's no other way out. All right, we're gonna go into this straight gate, fully trusted in Yahweh Shemir Washai,
God, if I could add to you, I remember it was a tweet that I forgot, I think it was Money Man, one of them rapper niggas, but he had made a tweet talking about, y'all people out here rejoicing about the fall of the dollar, like y'all ain't gonna be affected by that too. Well, yeah, like you said in this verse, they shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied, because we got faith that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to provide and take care of us, man. Everything we've been doing up until this point is to guarantee that. Okay, so like it says in Proverbs about where there's no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. We know that about us doing what we're doing, we're gonna be okay, man. Because we've been following what the instructions that Yahweh Shah, laid out for us to do. Therefore, we're coming into this time, all right, with our head held high and our faith at 100. Because, hey, we're in this shit too. Brothers are on these different benefits that's about to be cut, but we're not out here on camera crashing out, cursing out. Because really, what it is when these people are doing this, they're cursing the Most High. When you read between the lines, man. We're not doing that because we know where the nourishment comes from. It's not coming from Esau. It's coming from the Lord, man.
That's right, bro. Got one more on faith. Hebrews 11 and 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. By faith, Noah, being warned of the Most High of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house. By the which he condemned the world and became heir of righteousness, which is by faith, man. So hey, we got to go into this thing completely faithful, man. All right, and that's our mindset, man. That the Lord is going to guide us. He's going to provide. He's going to give us that covering that we're going to need as we go through these trials and tribulation. All right, you got a priest. What you want me to get?
Let's start with that Kevin Samuels, because as the warnings that we were telling our people about, starting with our elder apostles, with their teachers, going down to them, to the elders that came before us, to us now, we've all been preaching the same warning. All right, and that warning has trickled into the other areas that we've seen, as such as the manosphere. Different people in these podcasts are all saying similar messages that started what the prophets were saying, man.
Yep.
So this is one of
I'm saying a lot of their talking points came from us.
Come on, because the things that we were saying were undeniably true. No matter how much they hate what we're saying, they were able to pick out what they could use to further their platform to get them to that level they were at. So what Kevin Samuels was warning the women, we've been saying for years. The scriptures would say it first and foremost.
Yeah.
And so what he said was he actually was prophesying, man.
That's it.
It is time for women to come back to the table and come clean. $15 trillion pumped into the economy. There is no more money. There's about to be not a global recession, a global reset. Winter is coming. Ladies, you got to realize there's more of you than us. You got to try to get on his page, in his boat, in his raft. That means his program. Or you can think this is I'm full of crap, don't know what I'm talking about.
Winter isn't coming. Winter is here, bitch.
and y'all can't say we ain't warned y'all.
That's it.
All right.
Hilarious. Hey, so here's the overview of the meaning of winter is coming. It's a phrase from TV show Game of Thrones that serves as a model for House Stark. It has multiple meanings, ranging from a literal warning about the harshness of winter to a metaphorical forecast of difficult times ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It says the phrase emphasizes the need for constant vigilance in preparation for hardship, both literally for the cold season and symbolically for struggles and potential threats. Man.
And it's the spirit. Because look, as I said, we're entering into the winter season, holiday season. All right, the time of the year to where these people rely on this money, the food stamps and all this stuff the most, because they gonna keep these pagan ass holidays regardless of whatever situation they're in, man. Like I was watching the priest Ayasha Moth earlier, and he was saying that and Jake gonna find a way to goddamn get these turkey dinners and shit out there, man. And like you said, when they post it, they're gonna post it proud.
That's right.
It's here.
It's
here, man.
That's it.
We about to see the struggle on 1,000 now, man.
All right.
Man. Farewell to welfare. You got it, Quanah. What would you say?
God, it's Amos 5:20 in the NLT. Yes, the day of the Lord will be dark and hopeless, without a ray of joy or hope. And that's what we're seeing, man. All the hope is gone in America, man. Right? All the joy, all the mirth, right? People, they're grasping at straws at this point, man. Right? So everything that you see, right, like you may mention of people going out of their way to celebrate these holidays, it's going to be all for naught, man.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Instead of allocating that money to smart resources, they're gonna blow the bank on these damn holiday feast days. They ain't got no money, but they still gonna find a way to get these damn Christmas presents out here, man.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, when they post the shit, they're gonna brag about it because we know Jake, man.
That's it.
They're gonna talk that shit, man.
Oh yeah, they're gonna keep these holidays no matter what, because it's in them. As I brought it out in my lesson, the scriptures talk about how Jake's iniquity is marked before the Lord, man. All right, yep. It's embedded in them. All right, so their spirit is in a spirit to continue to hold the ways of these heathens, man. These heathen customs, these pagan holidays, they're not gonna let it go. All right, I want to read this real quick, and then we'll play the other videos. Mm-hmm. All right, Ezekiel 4:16. Moreover, he have said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they should eat. And they should eat bread by weight and with care, and they should drink water by measure and with astonishment. Right, verse 17. It says that they may want bread and water and be astonished with one another and consume away in their iniquity. Right, and I just want to bring this back out because this is heavy stuff too. All right, back in the chat, going into that breakdown of Ezekiel 4:16. I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem. Staff symbolizes support, and sustenance like a walking staff that holds someone up. To break the staff of bread means the Most High is removing the basic support of life, the food supply. In context, this refers to the siege of Jerusalem by the Babylonians, when famine would strike and the city's inhabitants would be left desperate for food. All right, jumping down, they should eat bread by weight and with care. By weight means ration portions that won't be enough to eat freely. With care, i.e., example given, with anxiety and fear, reflects the constant worry over whether there will be enough for the next meal. This symbolizes famine and economic collapse, food so scarce that people will measure every morsel. That's where we at now, man. They should drink water by measure, and with astonishment, water will be strictly rationed, symbolizing drought or siege conditions. With astonishment means shock and despair. The people will be amazed and horrified at how dire their situation has become. Yep. There you go, man. What more can we tell you? My goodness. Which one you want? You want the older Jake or you want the young Jake?
Can I get a quick precept, if I may?
Yeah, you got it, bro. You got it.
This is Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 3. It says, "The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them." You know, so when these times that we're coming into, the Lord has been molding the minds of our people, the hopeful elect, to be in a mindset of submitting to the will of Yahweh Shemel Shai, right? The word integrity going into adherence to a strict moral code, understanding what the will of the Father is, understanding the times and seasons we're in, right? These people have not been prepared. They haven't made preparations to deal with these things that we're about to see. So the way in which people are going to respond, they're going to lean into their perverseness. They're going to lean into their innate habits and natures that they've grown accustomed to. And that's ultimately going to lead to their destruction. They're going to be relying on Egypt. They're going to, continually commit evils, right? And put themselves in position to die.
Yep. That's right. Can we get that Revelation?
Yeah,
12 and 13?
Let's get that out. I got you right here. All right, so this is and I'll read it. This is the book of Revelation 12 and verse 13. Matter of fact, we'll start at 12. All right, this is Revelation 12 and 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." Verse 13. When the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. All right, going back to the time of the Western Roman Empire, 70 AD. Okay, the persecution of the church of Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right, verse 14. It says into the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness. Right. So after that persecution of 70 AD, all right, you pretty much had the Israelites, flee into the interiors of Africa, various parts of the earth. All right, as we learn, the angels guided us through as we fled into those interiors and other parts of the world. And it says that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time, and times and half a time, and that goes into that 3.5 years, which equals out to that 350 years from the time of slavery when we were brought over here, man. Okay, to the Americas, and we were set up to pretty much, to be slaves and build up this captivity, to build up this man's empire. All right, and to that point in time, where the Lord put the breath back into us, and the prophets of the Lord stood back upon their feet. All right, it says.
I can add to that too, because where it said about where she was nourished for a time, and half a time. That's how Esau pretty much, kept us afloat as we were in this captivity. Because if the devil wanted to really eradicate Jake like their spirit wants to, they would have been got rid of it. But the spirit was put on them to bring us along. That's why in captivity, in the chattel slavery, they gave us, the chitlins, you know, the different slave foods that now Jake look at as delicacies. You know, we came into, you know, the early days of America. So you have what we see now was those different benefits that they're now cutting. That was given at the beginning to help Jake get along, man. You know, affirmative action, all these stuff that Jake was given to pretty much, you know, keep us afloat here in Babylon. Esau was stripping away now, man.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's a process that I learned from the beloved elder Yahweh from GMS Hawaii. It's a term called seasoning of slaves, right? And I just want to read that real quick because that was part of the nourishment. You know, Esau had to keep us alive in order for us to build up this society, this kingdom, for him to prosper. All right. But it says here, I just want to read it real quick. It says the seasoning of slaves was the brutal and dehumanizing process of breaking newly arrived enslaved Israelites, because we're not Africans, breaking newly arrived enslaved Israelites known as saltwater slaves to make them compliant plantation laborers. This process involved a combination of physical violence, psychological manipulation, and cultural erasure to strip individuals of their identity and instill obedience. And part of that, you know, as you get into it, when we came over as slaves from the western interiors of Africa, we had to adapt to the new environment that we were in.
Right.
The weather, they gave us like a lot of these delicacies that Jake eats today, the pork, the fucking, you know, shrimp and all of that.
Crab legs.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, all of that stuff was fed to our people back then to keep Jake, you know, alive. You know, so that's all part of that, you know, seasoning process, man. All right, that's part of the nourishment. But now we're in a time where that nourishment, if you will, let's go back, is being cut off. This is why we said that that the eagle shall no longer nourish her. Her going back to Israel, man, the Israelites. Now that time and season is being cut off, right?
Got to add to that point, Zaquan.
Yep.
There's a documentary that I watched a few years ago, pretty much going into how what they're doing now is perfecting slavery, right? So where they had to nourish Jake, where they had to provide like homes and things of that nature for the slaves. Now what they're doing is making the slaves provide their own homes, making the slaves have to, you know, get their own food, right? And now with AI and things of that nature, they're saying, look, whether you can or not, you know, you can be replaced. So they're not even considering the U.S. people anymore. They're getting you back in that mindset of being property, right? And now they're willing to let that property die off because they have something to replace that work.
Yeah, because it's all the detachment. Because it's really the Lord doing this to make you come back to Him. But like I said, our people they're set on doing things their own way, trusting in their own arm, man.
That's right. I got one more on the nourishment. I just want to add on to that, to the spirit, to the spirit. Just dealing with the nourishment of how, you know, Esau, you know, preserved us in slavery so we can build up his empire. All right, gave us jobs, you know, gave Jake the ability to vote, you know, to see himself as a so-called American citizen. I want to add, I was thinking about that Revelation 6 in verse 6. Let me pull it up and we'll come back to that. Bear with me. Revelation 6 and 6.
I got that here for you, Zaquan. You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead and read it, brother.
This is Revelation chapter 6 and verse 6. It reads, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny."
Right. So it said a measure of wheat for a penny and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And that equated to the a day's wages for work. All right. Back during the Roman Empire, you know, you had the what was it called out? The denarion, which the denarian, which they devalue, is the same thing that they did in this modern Roman Empire, where they basically devalued the money, took away the gold standard. And this is why a day's wages can't cover the lifestyle, man. This is why your daily wages that you make on the job is barely sufficing you, man. This is why everybody around America is complaining about the job conditions and how hard it is to pay, you know, to pay rent, to pay bills. All right, because there's no more value in the money. And it was the same thing that happened back then during the ancient Roman Empire when they devalued the denarius. Okay, keep going up.
If I can add to that too, because the main one that's being affected by this is Jake, because these devils really, majority of these devils, they're liquidated. They got money in savings. They got, a rainy day fund. Jake ain't got shit. They ain't got 2 pennies to rub together. So as the devaluing of the dollar is happening, which is causing the price of living to skyrocket, you see, this is why Jake is crashing out like this, because they can't afford it, and this is why they were reliant on the WIC, the food stamps, and all these different things, because that was their way of getting by. So now that is being taken away, Jake has nothing anymore, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. May I real quick grab this excerpt of this book I was reading? It's this book called The Wealth Vision, and in the book it highlights the key challenges that face today's investors. But one of the things that it mentioned was inflation, tying into what we're discussing. And it said that rising prices decimate savings and ability to preserve wealth throughout your golden years, speaking of working age, assuming long-term historical annual inflation rate of around 3%. So the way how the dollar has been set up year after year, inflation has been eating 3% of people's wages. Not to mention that you now have hyperinflation. You now have things that are outpacing annual inflation. So this is impacting the ability for people to actually have a wage that is allowing them to sustain themselves.
Right.
That's why a lot of people are living off credit cards. A lot of people are living off personal loans. So now that exacerbates the debt that they have already.
What's the other one? The after paying all that stuff, that's a form. I forgot the actual word for it.
Buy now, pay later.
Yeah, that.
Yep. All of that is impacting people's wages.
Yep.
And it's showing. It ultimately points to the direction that this is the dollar just weakening over time, and it ties into what happened with ancient Rome.
Yep. I just want to read this real quick. Dealing with the collapse of the Roman Empire and the parallels now in America, the economic problems, the impact of hyperinflation, which you were just talking about, high taxes and bureaucratic costs, soaring taxes and administration expenses. The point here I wanted to read is the internal conflicts and civil wars, the cost of civil wars. It says internal conflicts and civil wars became common in later stages of the Roman Empire. This constant turmoil weakened the empire's stability and strained its resources. Civil wars were often diverted military and economic resources away from the empire's borders, leaving them vulnerable to external threats. Same thing that's happening now. It says between 217 and the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 AD, there were only a few decades without civil war. This constant state of internal conflict not only weakened the Roman Empire, but also disrupted trade networks, further impacting the economy. Impacts on trade and stability. The frequent civil wars made it challenging to maintain stable trade networks, disrupted trade, reduced economic activity, and made it difficult for the Roman Empire to sustain its vast territories. The lack of stability combined with soaring costs and a weakened coinage system contribute to the overall decline of the empire. Same thing, man. Last part. Collapse of trade in the Roman Empire, shift to localized trade. It says due to economic crisis and hyperinflation, trade became increasingly localized. The once thriving Roman economy shifted to inefficient barter methods as people lost faith in the currency system. All right, and people are losing faith, just the same again today. This localization of trade further weakened the empire's cohesion, reduced its economic vitality, right? And the rest resumed. This is a good article I always reference when we go into the economy of Rome. But finish that out, Ak, in Revelation 6, real quick.
Rereading Revelation 6 and 6, it reads, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine."
Right, and see thou hurt not the oil and wine. So what the Lord did is that ultimately he preserved the word, this truth, all right, and he preserved the Israelites, man. First and foremost, dealing with the elect. See thou not hurt the oil and wine. So going back to my point, as we were making mention in Revelation 12 and 14, where it talked about where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time, man. So again, through that period, the Lord, he kept, he preserved the oil and wine. He kept us preserved. Okay, we built up this kingdom. Like you said, he gave us jobs. He gave us jobs, the ability to vote, to earn a living, so to speak, and then into that time where the breath, came back into the Israelites, and now we're standing back upon our feet. And in this very same time that we're in, at the same time, I should say, here it is now. The serpent, the eagle, if you will, is cutting us off. He's no longer nourishing us,
right,
which is heavy,
We can hit the younger Jake first. Then go to the
Got you.
I don't know if you know what you're looking at right now. What's happening in America right now? It's the fall of the African American hood rat. We're witnessing it. The fall of the Section 8 queen, the fall of the food stamp queen, the fall of the welfare queen. I spoke on this months ago, in the 8 days after the inauguration, on who President Trump was coming for and what he was doing it for. This for us, kings. This for us, black men. They putting the black man back at the head of the household. If you can stand under the pressure of manhood, he's giving us our families back. Many of us, it's a wash. But for the generations coming after us, he's putting the man back in his rightful place as head of the household. I told you, and now we're here. The fall of the African American hood rat is upon us. We made it.
Hey, but through the Spirit, he's on point, because it's the Lord that's doing that. Because he's restoring the Israelite man back to our original status as being the heads. Okay, because under this thing that Esau has created by putting the woman first, man. Hey, the Israelite man lost all authority and power and respect, man. All right. So what the Lord is doing now is setting things back all right, God. So hey, Eve is witnessing the slave master turning on her, man. He's letting the pit bull off the leash. He don't want you no more, man.
Yeah, you don't run the plantation no more. It's heavy. All right, I'm gonna play the. You got a scripture? I'll play the other one.
I got the Isaiah 32 and 9. But we can play the old dude first, then we'll get that.
I got one real quick.
Right,
this Micah 7 and 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets.
Yep.
So this is what we're seeing right now, man. Right? She's being exposed for trusting in Esau, man. Right? She abandoned her family to go and try to build with Esau Edom, and he kicked her out, man. And now she's left out to the streets, man.
Well, he's for the streets, man. It's that song I always reference when I think about this topic is that Jill Scott called "Fool's Gold," because now she's realizing that she was told a lie. Esau never cared about you, man. You were a means to an end, and that weapon that he created you to be is no longer needed.
Yep. Just a pawn to destroy your people.
Exactly. That's it. And the Lord doing this is the beginning of, like you said, Keisha's trouble, because you gotta pay. now we're witnessing the beginning of your judgment, because one of the reasons I heard, I think Elder Mwatazak has said this, one of the reasons why you see a lot of these women crash out because they don't have no man to run to for help. Because the majority of these women that's crying out like this, they burnt that bridge with the baby daddy, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So all them doing is they're literally on their own. All right. So what the Lord is doing is setting you up for the big payback, man.
That's it. It's about to get bad, man. Real bad.
Yep. We about to see if you can stand on that. I can do bad all by myself. Bullshit.
Factual.
It was a contingency. They would say they could do bad all by themselves. It was a fucking a stick holding them up. It was that staff. That's that broken reed.
Right.
Ain't gonna help you.
No support.
Nope.
No support.
I'm gonna keep it all the way real with you. I ain't upset about them cutting no food stamps. I'm not getting them anyway. And you wanted the Cheeto in there, now you ain't gonna be able to get your Cheetos. That's on y'all. I'm happy for the brothers whose value about to go up. Because they wouldn't settle for no man working 2 jobs. You ain't never home and you do this, you ain't getting no money because she don't need you because she got all these benefits over here. She can go play around and get her little fix on the weekend from one of them boys that's moving around the city doing the riffing, the raffing. I'm happy for my brothers. Go ahead, young man. Keep working your job and do your thing and stack your money up. And it's gonna be a bunch of bitches that was dependent on things that they ain't gonna be dependent on no more. That was out there saying I don't need no man. And your little $40 is gonna increase in value now. So do your thing, young brother. Keep doing your little thing. I know you're working 80 hours a week and they don't appreciate you. They're gonna complain about you never being home. But you got these bills. And if you stop doing this, you're gonna be home more, but you're gonna have to talk more of that 50-50 talk that they hate so much. And you're trying to figure it out and you can't figure because there was a glitch in the system. And the Cheeto man finna get rid of a piece of the glitch. And there's a lot of people that ain't like it. They shaking in their boots because they know they done talked a lot of shit. And time's gonna get hard. And you ain't been a nice person. You don't know how to treat people. You don't know how to have community. You've been walking around with your chest out. Now there's some good sisters and good young men that need those things. And for them it's sad. And I don't wanna skip over that because out to them I say God gonna find a way for you. And you treat people right. And people gonna find a way for you. And you gonna find a way for yourself, I should say. But I wouldn't worry. We done made it way before the food stamps, and we was kicking ass with the food stamp. We did what we had to do. We gonna figure whatever they throw at us. We gonna figure it out. But for the time being, I'm just happy that some of my brothers' value is gonna go up. The more they cut off them goddamn benefits, the more you gonna get some act right. And you know what? You know the brand of bitch I'm talking about. So don't you can say all you talking about. No, I'm talking about a specific brand, and for that one the world it might be darker for them, but it's gonna be more wonderful for everybody else.
Man, heavy stuff. You got it, Priest.
Can you put that picture back on the screen? Because that's exactly who we talking about. Nah, the one with the one we started with the woman. Yeah, that's who we talking about. That's who's gonna suffer this the most. That we're gonna see, man. You know. But I got this. This is Isaiah 32:9. It says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come." And what we're witnessing is that vintage failing, man. You know, the doing away of EBT, SNAP, WIC, your daycare benefits, your government issued babysitter. Like you had that one video that nigga won't talk about some. Your tax dollars are supposed to take care of me and my children.
Tripping.
All that's done with, man.
Mm-hmm.
You and them nappy ass kids are gonna have to figure it out, man.
Facts.
It says, "Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, you careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins." So all that proud, boastful shit is out the window. All right. Sackcloth is a representation of the mourning. Now you're going to see women in that sorrowful state because a lot of them are going to have to sit with the action that they have done. Like the older Jake was saying, man. You know, they're terrible people. They treat people like shit because they figured out, you know, the baby mama hustle, getting off on the child support, all that's getting cut, man. So now you women are gonna literally be through out here, man. You know, it says they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. And that's exactly what we're seeing, man. All these videos with these women crying because their benefits are being slashed, man. Now they're literally going to be asked out because, as we've been seeing, hey, they're losing jobs.
Yep.
All right, they're losing homes because a lot of women are getting evicted out their homes. All right, a lot of women are going to be affected by this. So the Lord is just stripping everything that they were using to stun on Jake, stun on the Israelite man. So now you really gonna feel the crunch that Yahweh Shem Yahushua warned, and like the brother said too. You know, for you sincere sisters that's actually trying to seek the Lord, you don't have nothing to worry about because the Lord's gonna take care of you. You know, He's gonna find a way for you to be nourished in that time, man. All right, He's gonna lead you to a man of the Lord at some point, man.
That's it. You got any more?
That was it on that. We can get that second Esdras 9 through 12.
Yep. Second Esdras 9. Bear with me. Let me pull it up. It's going down, man. Tried to tell them.
And this is what not only brothers, but this is what really all the men have been waiting for.
Yep.
Because the downfall of Eve, man, it's been a long time coming. Because these women have waxed extremely proud, man.
Exactly. Her pride has been on maximum fucking levels. It's time, man. Pride goes before destruction, man.
That's right.
All right. So she getting ready, as we read the scripture earlier, Micah 7 and 10. She is my enemy. All right. Who's the enemy? She, the wicked Israelite woman.
Right.
Okay. She's counted as an enemy. She that is my enemy shall see it. What's she gonna see? Her fall.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We in it. You got it. I'll read it for you.
Okay.
Second Ezra 9 and 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments.
And that's what you know. All the videos is starting to show, because these women, hey, they have been delighted in abusing the ways of Babylon, man. Yep. And when it came to the scriptures being brought out about how a woman is supposed to submit themselves under a man, they scoffed at the Lord, man. They scoffed at his men. They don't want to hear nothing about the Bible because the Bible talks about them being in order, and they want to be outside. They don't want to have to be under any subjection, you know.
Yeah.
So therefore, they're going to suffer.
Salaki.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Now, so the Lord about to take her through there, like she say, take her through there, right? Lord about to take your ass through there, right? It says, verse 10. For such as they're in their life have received benefits and have not known me.
Yeah, and that's what they say. What we need God for? Hey, the white man nourished my pockets. He filled my cabinets.
Yeah,
you know, he provide for me what I needed the Lord for. You know, women have said that.
Yep,
boastfully on camera, no shame, man.
It says, and they that have loathed my law, while they yet had liberty. And when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it.
Yeah, the fact that you got us out here warning you that all this shit was going to happen, that Esau was going to eventually cut you off, and what do you see? All these videos, it was like on TikTok, what Edamanatazat has been showing, these women talking shit about the Hebrew Israelites, saying we dusty, we don't, we don't get no women. We broke, we homeless, what all this shit talking, you know. Well, now you're gonna have to feel it because you try to come this way again. Well, after you see that it's rough out there by yourself, brothers are gonna be hitting you with the goddamn Reggie Bush Heisman stiff arm, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, everybody has you know what you call nigga fatigue. Yeah, niggas, you know, people are tired of that entitlement from Eve and the attitude and all that bullshit gonna stop, man. And we've been waiting for years for this time to come, man. Because nobody can say nothing. We live in a society, not to rant, but we live in this Queen of Heaven society where you can't hold the woman accountable. You can't critique her, right? You can't say nothing bad about her, right? Without some type of some shit to reflect or deflect off of her off accountability, But now that time is done now, Now she's being drawn to judgment, man. Ain't nothing she can do. That hedge as we talk about, that hedge of protection, that immunity that she once had is now dwindling away,
Ultimately, what's being shown is she's gonna have to be held accountable for her actions, and she's not gonna be able to bear it.
Yep.
Women aren't built like that to handle adversity, and the type of adversity the Lord is about to bring, it's gonna be hard on men. As the scripture says, it's gonna be so bad. It says men are gonna be what's the scripture? I think it's the second address. They're gonna be in a framework like you remember what I forget exactly how it goes, but it's like they like clutching their pearls, so to say.
Yeah, they're gonna be in pain as like a woman that travaileth.
Right. So men gonna be like that. How much more women?
Right.
Because you see how when a woman gets uncomfortable, how she bugs out. So how much more when that adversity hits, with no type of cover. You got nobody to come to your aid.
Right. Yeah. All that shit. Nobody wants to protect the black woman and all that bullshit. Well, you really about to see this shit now.
Yeah, it's the reason why the so-called black woman is the least desired woman in the earth, and that's gonna show as this searching for aid is gonna come out.
Sure. Last verse, 2 Corinthians 9:12. The same must know it after death by pain.
And it's going to be an extremely a pitiful case for Eve, man, because we got to remember 2/3 are prophesied to be destroyed, man. All right, 2 out of every 3 Israelites are going to die, and what's that? What does that majority make up of? Women. Sure. Women outnumber men 7-1. So the majority of women that we see out here, they're gonna suffer horrible judgments, man.
Man, little do they know. That was it. You bros got anything else you want to add in there? That's it, man. Well, look, hey, this is the time we in, man. A farewell to welfare. The eagle shall no longer nourish her. And we can wrap it up with this video right here. Let me see if I can pull it up. Here we go.
Now that you're gone, every day I go on. We need our steps. This is the funeral. But life's just not the same.
That's it, man. Weird on time, man. It's a wrap, But other than that, hey, we pray that you sincere listeners were edified, man. We just wanted to bring out these points. Might have been all over the place, but Lord willing, the point was made. All right, again, farewell to welfare. The eagle should no longer nourish her. Hey, we're going to close it out by giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who taught us his truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Hey, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. What Akim.